Suicide Squad is finally out, and I did a non-spoilers review already, so I'm gonna do a completely spoiler-filled review where I'm basically gonna go in depth with the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like. So, first of all, the thing that I really have to talk about is the villain. In my non-spoiler review, I said that the villain was pretty terrible, and the villain in the film is actually Enchantress. So, she's one of those main reasons why the film just doesn't work as a whole. So, let's go through her. So, she is involved with the Suicide Squad. At first, she's gonna be part of the team. That's how Amanda Waller, presents her to like the government as her being part of the team. So okay, she's gonna be part of the team. So Amanda Waller forms a team, but there's not really like a mission. They're just gonna sit around, and conveniently, at that moment, Enchantress decides to escape and wake up her brother Incubus. And she wants to like build this machine thing because she's all like, oh, now they don't praise us but technology and machines, so I'm gonna make a machine that will kill them all. And it just doesn't work. It feels really convenient and random and such a terrible waste of the character, especially because why would you need the Suicide Squad to deal with her when most of them aren't like metahumans? Like, only you have El Diablo, who can he shoots fire, and well, that's kind of it for the special abilities, really. You have Katana, who uses her katana and can trap the souls of whoever she kills in the katana. But there's not really too many like metahumans in here, and it's especially sad because the way they actually deal with Incubus with like a bomb, they literally blow him up. That's something that the military could have done, as well as the way they kill the witch and everything, or the Enchantress. It's shit that the military could have done. So I wish they would have done like the Joker as a main villain, because it would have gone more like into like, well, we have to kind of trap, catch this dude, and villains would know how a villain thinks, how he acts, and Jared Leto's Joker would have been a great villain because of the gangster kind of like feel to him, and the fact that he has so many guys around him. That would have been really interesting, especially Harley Quinn being there. I think it would have been awesome to see her kind of like have to chase after the Joker, but kind of knowing that she's not obviously gonna try to capture him or whatever. And yeah, another thing with Enchantress is the fact that once she kind of escapes and she's building the machine, she's kind of doing like this kind of like weird thing throughout the whole thing. While she builds the machine, and it's laughably bad. Like it's terrible. Like, there's just nothing to her, and it was just a waste of the character. Plus, they kind of try to like make her have a romance with Rick Flag, Joel Kinnaman's character, and it's not believable. I just didn't care. It was pretty terrible. Well, you do have some good stuff though with the cameos. Batman, he shows up in some flashbacks where they kind of tell you how Deadshot was captured. Deadshot was with his daughter, after like a assignment, and he has like a lot of money now to spend. And Batman comes in, and basically his daughter is the one who stops Deadshot from killing Batman, and that's why he kind of gives himself up. And you have obviously the chase with the Joker and the purple Lamborghini. And then you kind of have like the Flash show up for, I think it's like 10 seconds at most, and he has like one line and he captures Captain Boomerang. But they worked. they don't feel completely forced. Actually, I actually liked those cameos, and I was like, yeah, that actually works pretty well. So the film itself, it doesn't feel like it furthers the DCEU at all. It just kind of feels like it's there. And they do add a post-credit scene, well, a mid-credit scene, which basically has Amanda Waller and Bruce Wayne, kind of get like a dinner. And Bruce Wayne is basically telling her that he needs the files to like the rest of the Justice League members because he's kind of going to form a team, which I kind of thought was a nice parallel to, okay, you've tried doing your team and it obviously didn't work with bad guys, so now I'm going to do it with good guys and let's see how that goes. And going to Amanda Waller, I was thinking, why would you think that the best idea was to put bad guys together, especially given how the mission they send them on, it's not like to catch like a bad guy but like this witch that they don't really understand. And they never really show those abilities against Enchantress at all. Like soldiers could have fought against her because they're kind of throwing punches and shooting at her. And that's really it. So that was pretty disappointing as well. So yeah, as to the other characters, like the aspect of Katana having her sword, capture souls, that's not really used in the film. They just kind of tell you she can do that, but they don't use it. I was glad they killed off the Slipknot, like really soon. Like once they get to the city, he tries to escape instantly, and they blow his head off. I was glad because he was just so uninteresting. Like there was nothing to that guy. They just kind of like, he literally arrives to this like where they're kind of grouping them, and he's just suddenly part of the Suicide Squad. So thank God. Kind of bummed me out that Diablo was killed though, because he had a really good backstory. I think that was one of the few characters from the movie that actually worked really well. So it's kind of sad seeing him go because he's not going to be in a sequel unless they kind of bring him back for, with magic or whatever. But yeah, I think they made like good choices with who they offed. Slipknot definitely not needed. El Diablo, it hurts, so good in a way because it does make you feel something. I wish that the action sequences had like a little bit more like a sense of danger to them because you never really felt that anybody was going to get killed. Slipknot gets killed at the beginning, not even in a fight scene, but just trying to escape, and so they blow his head off. And then, Diablo is killed by the explosion that kills Incubus at the end while he's kind of trying to, put him in the spot for the bomb to go off. So that was like something that actually worked really well with the film was El Diablo, which was a really great surprise, and his whole backstory with him having killed his kids and his wife. It was a really good backstory, and I was hoping that we've gotten a backstory for like every single member, because with Katana you only get the fact that her husband was killed, and her sword can capture souls, never used. Killer Croc, they just kind of say that, oh yeah, he's kind of like, he looks like that and he's bad, basically. And Captain Boomerang, like, yeah, he used to rob banks, that's it. So so yeah, I would like to see a sequel though, that's for sure. A sequel would definitely work if they do get a good mission to send them on, because this mission was just kind of like, why do they have to send them? And it was all kind of like a big coincidence, really. That, oh shit, suddenly when the Suicide Squad is formed, then Enchantress kind of decides to finally escape, which she could have done really at any given moment. When you think about it, and she suddenly decides to do it when they form the team. And yeah, I definitely think the Joker would have been a better villain. And it does, like there's like the editing problems are, like there's the bar scene where they're all talking and Rick Flag kind of tells him, well, you're all free to go, and so Captain Boomerang just kind of like goes away, like instantly just, you know, stands up and leaves. Next scene, he's with them going to the mission. So it's stuff like that, you kind of know that there's something missing there. Then there's like Amanda Waller, and she gets captured by Enchantress, and you have like all these tentacles going around her. Then they kind of cut away, and then later you see her like inside the machine for whatever reason, and they never explain why she's in there. And then once they kill Enchantress, Amanda Waller just kind of walks to the room like nothing happened, and they never explain it. So there's shit missing in there, as well as, you know, Joker stuff that we all know is missing. So this film definitely needs an Ultimate Edition, like Batman v Superman had. But yeah, it's still a fun time. It's just a very flawed fun time. But yeah, those were like the thoughts that I wanted to get more in depth with. So please subscribe, and thanks for watching.